If in the previous video, the smoke from Israel's airstrike hadn't even cleared before another battlefield ignited in flames, then in this video, the skies over Ukraine lit up as MiG-29s roared toward a Russian base, carrying a weapon that silenced the enemy's entire air defense system. And what happened next? No one saw coming. Continuing from that extraordinary airstrike, we dive into the heart-pounding moment when a Ukrainian pilot climbs into the cockpit of a rusty MiG-29 at exactly 5:45 a.m. on May 26, 2025. This 40-year-old Soviet-era jet, never designed to carry modern weapons, is about to attempt the unthinkable: strike Russia's most feared security agency using French-guided bombs, American GPS, and Ukrainian software hastily patched together with zip ties and a prayer. Can you guess what happens next? Drop your prediction in the comments. Continuing this deadly plunge into the heart of danger, we uncover a chilling truth. No one had ever dared strike the FSB headquarters since the war began. It's a fortress wrapped in layers of defense, and the terrifying belief that it's untouchable. But this time, the Ukrainian pilot will fly just above the treetops to dodge radar, then suddenly climb to 5,000 meters, lighting up like a flare on every screen from Kharkiv to Moscow. He has just 20 life-or-death seconds to strike, and vanish. Building on that heart-pounding momentum, we now witness the point of no return. At 5:58 a.m., the throttle is slammed forward. Two RD-33 engines roar to life, unleashing 18,000 pounds of thrust, propelling the MiG-29 down the runway, with a bizarre weapon strapped beneath its wings. In the breaking dawn, this Frankenstein fighter lifts off, an insane fusion of French engineering, American satellites, and Ukrainian resolve, hurtling straight toward the dark center of power that once made the world tremble: Putin's FSB. Next, we soar just 50 meters above the Ukrainian landscape, so low that the jet's exhaust flattens wheat fields and sends terrified birds scattering in every direction. The pilot strains his eyes and muscles, weaving through power lines, broadcast towers, and the occasional lone rooftop. Every twitch of the stick could mean life or death. The S-400 system guarding Belgorod can strike from 400 kilometers away. But if he stays undetected, he's a ghost no one can touch. The tension tightens like a wire ready to snap. The pilot has just 3 minutes before he must break from the shadows and climb into the heart of enemy radar. Luckily, the Earth's curvature is on his side. At 50 meters altitude, radar range shrinks to just 25 kilometers. Taped to his dashboard is an iPad, literally duct-taped, showing the target's coordinates: the FSB headquarters in Glovo, only 5 kilometers from Ukraine's border. This isn't a weapons depot. This is Putin's intelligence sanctum, a symbol of decades of fear and control. Closing in on the top secret target, we reveal the strike aimed at the very soul of the old KGB. The FSB headquarters in Glovo, just 5 kilometers from the border. This is the nerve center behind decades of shadowy operations against Ukraine. Hanging beneath the MiG-29 are 2 AASM hammer bombs, carrying not just explosives, but a message of retribution. The deeper we dive into this impossible mission, the more we uncover the sheer ingenuity of Ukrainian engineers. In makeshift workshops across Kiev, they built custom launch racks and snaked wires through aircraft compartments that had never been opened, allowing French bombs to talk to a Soviet jet. Everything was hand-wired, risky, and improvised. Yet the AASM hammer is a masterpiece of warfare, a dumb bomb transformed into a precision weapon, capable of flying through a window from 70 kilometers away, guided by GPS and powered by a rocket booster. Next, we enter the technological heart of the bomb, a digital brain more advanced than entire computing rooms from the 1970s. The AASM bomb doesn't just rely on GPS. It's equipped with an inertial navigation system, allowing it to find its target even under heavy jamming. A rear jet booster propels it close to the speed of sound, making it nearly impossible to intercept. But all that sophistication means nothing, unless the MiG-29 can somehow tell it where to hit. In a breathless climax, it all begins as the pilot reaches the firing point at 6:22 a.m. He yanks the control stick hard, sending the MiG into a 45-degree climb, crushing his body under brutal G-forces. Warning screens flash red. Russian air defense radars simultaneously lock on. The S-400 system in Belgorod starts calculating speed, trajectory, preparing to fire. Survival chances? Slim. But the madness of the mission becomes its greatest weapon. Russia had never faced a strike plan this irrational, and that made it unstoppable. And this is the life or death moment. At 5,000 meters, he hits the release button. 2 heavy thuds echo as the AASM bombs drop from the wings. Instantly, he flips the jet upside down and yanks the stick, executing a wild World War II-style escape maneuver known as the Almond turn. The MiG-29 dives like a missile, barely slipping beneath radar lock. Behind him, the bombs ignite their boosters, tearing through the sky at blistering speed, adjusting course hundreds of times per second using GPS and inertial guidance, heading straight for Putin's most brutal symbol of power. At the very brink of survival, the MiG-29 bursts up to 5,000 meters, and the pilot hits the release. 2 dry, brutal thuds echo as the AASM bombs detach from the wings. Without hesitation, he flips the jet and pulls a sharp World War II-style turn, G-forces crushing his body. The MiG plunges back to treetop level, racing against time. Behind him, the bombs ignite their boosters, tearing forward at supersonic speed. Guided by US satellites and Ukrainian software, they arc toward the heart of the FSB. And trust us, what happens next will blow your mind. Keep watching. Cranking the tension even higher, the 2 smart bombs are now streaking down a precision-perfect trajectory. accurate to the millimeter. Their boosters have just burned out, having propelled them to nearly Mach 1. Inside, a fusion of GPS and inertial guidance systems constantly tweaks their path. These are no longer just weapons. They're war computers with minds of their own. The pilot has just executed a cross-drop technique, a Cold War-era bombing tactic, now resurrected in a modern battle against Russia's feared air defenses. The deadly journey continues as Russian air defenses spring into action. Two massive 48 N-6 interceptor missiles launch at blistering speed. But the MiG-29 is already hugging the terrain, weaving left and right like a phantom. These colossal missiles, built to down heavy jets, not ghosts skimming the ground, soar past and detonate into nothing. In less than 2 minutes, the French-made bombs will strike the nerve center of the FSB, delivering a dose of justice they never saw coming. While Russian radars scramble to pinpoint their path, the two bombs have already passed their apex, 8,000 meters high. Up there, onboard computers kick into overdrive, running thousands of calculations per second, factoring in trajectory, velocity, and air resistance. What once took an entire team of mathematicians is now packed into a bomb's brain. Military-grade GPS and laser gyroscopes allow it to navigate without external signals. Ukraine knew this well. Russia would jam GPS. So, the bomb had to be smart enough to remember its flight path, no matter what. And it doesn't stop there. This is where the AASM bomb reveals its most terrifying feature: a solid-fuel rocket engine nestled in its midsection. This is what transforms it from a falling bomb into a hybrid ballistic missile, one that doesn't just drop, but charges toward its target with brutal penetrating force. The engine burns for just 15 seconds, but that's enough to push it to nearly Mach 0.8. Making interception nearly impossible. Behind it, a hypersensitive steering system adjusts course 50 times per second, capable of striking from an angle no one ever expects. Continuing this marvel of engineering, we now see why the AASM is every air defense system's worst nightmare. Even when GPS is jammed, its inertial guidance system can still bring it within 10 meters of the target. This lesson came from France's deep study of US struggles in Afghanistan. But it gets deadlier. The AASM's midsection rocket booster extends its range up to 70 kilometers, and more importantly, delivers enough energy to smash through reinforced concrete or the steel rooftop of the FSB itself. The danger isn't over, because just 15 seconds of rocket burn is enough to push the bomb to Mach 0.8, nearly the speed of sound. At that moment, every Russian interception effort becomes meaningless. These bombs are no longer just falling. They're flying, guided, and packing massive kinetic energy. That sheer velocity allows them to tear through anything they hit, even fortified structures. And once they enter the final dive toward the target, the AASM becomes an unstoppable force of destruction. The devastating impact strikes at 6:27 a.m. The radar fuse on the first bomb detects the FSB rooftop rushing toward it at 250 meters per second. In a split-second frenzy, its internal system calculates the perfect detonation point, factoring in angle, velocity, and programmed delay to ensure it explodes deep inside the structure. These calculations take just milliseconds. Then, 0.3 seconds later, the second bomb slams into a point 20 meters away. Two explosive messages delivered straight to the heart of Putin's ultimate symbol of power. Without warning, at exactly 6:19 a.m., Lieutenant Smirnov was sipping his morning tea when the S-400 early warning radar picked up two fast-climbing objects rising sharply from low altitude, about 40 kilometers southwest of his location. Within seconds, the computer identified them as Ukrainian MiG-29s, based on climb rate and radar signature. From that moment, he had just 45 seconds to prevent catastrophe. But time moved like death itself, and the world's most advanced air defense system was about to face a hopeless contest. The S-400, Russia's pride, was now facing its ultimate test. On paper, the system can track 300 targets simultaneously and destroy ballistic missiles at ranges up to 400 kilometers and altitudes of 30,000 meters. But its complexity is also its weakness. It takes 10 seconds just to analyze and lock onto low-flying targets. Then, a few more seconds are needed to authorize launch. Every passing second brings the nightmare closer. And when faced with something as erratic as a MiG climbing steeply before diving, every algorithm lags behind. At 6:26:45, two 48N6 missiles launched at Mach 6, screaming toward the bomb's trajectory. But the intercept angle was all wrong. By now, the bombs were in a steep vertical dive, almost invisible to radar. The S-400's fire control computer quickly recalculated. Intercept probability dropped from 85% to just 12%. The Russian missiles flew within 200 meters. Normally close enough for proximity fuses to detonate with lethal effect. But not this time. The near-vertical plunge and extreme speed caused both warheads to explode into empty air. And finally, the fifth floor came crashing down like a boulder, crushing everything beneath it. Each collapsing level added force to the impact, turning the entire building into a wrecking ball that destroyed itself from the inside out. In less than 5 seconds, a symbol of power, The fortified five-story headquarters of Russia's National Security Agency was reduced to smoldering rubble and shattered secrets. Nothing left to hide. No one left to stop it. The strike ended with a crystal-clear message. Goodbye, FSB. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment so I know you stopped by.